And it's the dumbest bill in America, and it is House Bill 511 from Maryland, and Delegate Boyce telling people riding bicycles they don't have to stop at stop signs, including on, highways. So we have with us Delegate Steve Ahrens from the great state of Maryland. Steve, what do you think about this?
Well, I think it is ranking up there as far as one of the dumbest bills I've ever seen. With all due respect to the person who wrote the bill or that sponsored the bill, but if you start thinking about something where bicyclists, and keep in mind, they're riding the roads for free, and they're going to have actually a way of circumventing my rights as a tax-paying, car registering citizen.
Yeah, so here's what the bill says. When approaching, this is directly from the bill now, when approaching a stop sign at an intersection with a highway with 2 or fewer lanes for moving traffic, a person operating a bicycle may cautiously make a turn or proceed through the intersection without stopping if the person's operating a bicycle. The laws apply to cars, but not to bicycles. And then we're micromanaging every aspect of life in the state of Maryland, all the way down to whether or not a bicycle can or cannot stop at a stop sign. Why is the stop sign there then?
Well, I've actually had conversations with people who actually support this bill. And one of the things they brought up to me was, well, you have to understand something. These people are coming up to the stop sign and they actually physically have to put their legs down. And not only that, they have to go through the physical exertion of starting up again. And I'm asking you a question because I don't know if you know this or not. I ride a Harley. And I said, does that mean I can do that? They said, no. I said, have you ever tried to lift an 800-pound Harley Davidson? And then they said, well, the exertion. I said, well, typically, most people I know ride a bike for the exercise.
That's exactly right.
So
what's the problem stopping and starting? So you ride a Harley, and then when you stop at a stop, you have to stop at a stop sign. Mm-hmm. And then what happens then? You have to put your legs down and then balance the...
I took the training wheels off last year.
First of all?
Yeah, my legs do touch it. Being 6'2", I'm able to hit the ground still. However, I do have to put my legs down, and I physically have to steady that bike. And I've been riding a long time, so that's not an issue for me. But when you sit back and say that now I have to stop so potentially they can go through and they're okay. I pay taxes to be on the road, whether that's important or not to anybody. But I can't even get you to put a reflector on your bike. So right. How do where does this come from? I don't understand why they claim some things that I find a little bit off.
I almost feel too like the trial lawyers like this bill because more bicyclists will probably get hit and they can use the excuse that, well, there's this bill, House Bill 511 that passed in Maryland that allows me to go through the stop sign without actually stopping. And it's not my fault I was hit. It was that guy's fault. So then you have the trial lawyers citing this law, which is, of course, obviously a silly law anyway, because not only is it obvious that a bicyclist should be stopping, okay, but there's the other thing too, ladies and gentlemen, and that is why are we even micromanaging this aspect of detail? Because isn't it just common sense?
Well, part of that is true, except that when I'm riding my bike and I'm aggressively pedaling and I'm getting exhausted, I am spewing what?
I don't know,
polluting
gas?
The air. Okay. What am I coming out? I'm sucking the oxygen in and breathing other things out. And it's probably a better environmentally safe bill.
So yeah, that's right. So as a result of stopping, you're like breathing heavy and then you're exhaling all this carbon.
Well,
yeah, so that's really
Mark,
bad.
You don't take a bill apart like I do.
So the other thing it says, any approaching vehicle on another highway that is near enough to the intersection that it poses an immediate danger, well, then the bicyclist actually needs to stop. Imagine that.
I can't
imagine that has to be a law.
Is that in the bill?
It's actually in the bill. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we know you can't figure this out. When the car comes, you probably should stop. So that's what it says here in the bill, because, we have to tell you every little thing you need to do from Annapolis because you can't figure it out. And then we have to give you permission to do it. It's like, I'm sorry, state of Maryland, we don't need your permission to use common sense.
Well, but take it from the other side. Legally, you're sitting down there in your car. You can get a ticket. You can get a citation for doing it. You can get the same thing on your motorcycle. And we're saying you can't. We're going to allow that because of whatever the real reason is. And I'm not sure what the real purpose behind the bill is. I mean,
probably, I think the trial lawyers and also the bicycle lobby. Apparently, there's a big bicycle lobby because they even called you up.
Well, they have been after me. I mean, we do this in my county. We have bicyclists, and I'll tell you what, it's quite honestly, in my county, it's a living hell because they don't obey by the rules. I mean, typically they should be there. So you're trying to come up a road when they're doing these rides, and you can't get past them.
You can't get past them. And actually, if there were an accident in front of you, because you're behind them, you can't get past them, you're going to run right over them. Even if you give lots and lots of space between, because you're just like not paying attention to bicyclists. So final thoughts on this.
Final thoughts. I mean, quite honestly, Mark, we get over 1,500 bills, and this shouldn't be one of them. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, I respect why you're doing it and stuff. I get it. People want to put bills in, but this isn't what we should be focusing on as delegates and people now.
Well said. And that is the dumbest bill in America, House Bill 511 from Delegate Boyce and Embry, letting bicyclists not stop at intersections or stop signs. And that's the dumbest bill in America.